Hey, party people. Sorry about that. So my husband, he like said, "Oh yeah, honey, I'm helping you with your mouse. I'm gonna make sure that it moves a little bit slower." And now I'm having the hardest time with the mouse. It's moving too slow for me. All right, y'all. It ain't that funny, but I know my husband's watching, so I know he's laughing, and I think it's funny. So yeah, welcome back to Jackie Yaps A Lot, y'all. How is everybody doing? So Jackie Yaps A Lot, I hope I got some more viewers with me tonight here on Culture Flix every Saturday at what time? 3 p.m. EST, y'all. I am always here. I am here every week dropping you gems, bringing you gold and who? With my boy Marcus, y'all. So welcome back. Introduction. So if you are a long-term viewer, like I've been here forever, but I feel like I have been, there's lots of cussing on this show. So if it bothers you, you need to carry the fuck on. You gotta carry the fuck on. You gotta carry the fuck on. Or if you choose to stay, please don't fucking complain about it after, because that shit's mad annoying. I hate when people do that shit. All right. So Jackie Yaps A Lot is all about serving the uncomfortable truth. Okay. This show is here to demolish the concept of white victimhood and of white comfort. This show is here to challenge you. This show is here to serve you the truth. You understand? Like I said, the uncomfortable fucking truth. Okay? You can subscribe to Jackie Yaps A Lot on YouTube, and I don't know why you already aren't. 202 subscribers, pretty damn good, but not good enough. Like I said, I am so fucking suppressed on social media, and this isn't something that I'm just sitting up here flapping my gums about, okay? You all can go on to my social media accounts and you can see it yourself. You can see it even with the posts that I post. Like I will post other people's comments about me being suppressed, meaning that they can't find my shit. They can't, my shit isn't introduced to new people. And that is not just unique to like Threads. It's not like unique to Substack. It's everywhere I go because I am a I am a proud, strong, powerful black woman. And they do not want you to hear what I have to say because what I have to say needs to be heard. You understand? I'm building community and I'm building the unity that they think that they're building. You understand? So for that reason, they hide me. So, I keep going and I'm always going to keep going, but I'll be like wicked vulnerable with y'all right now. Like that shit's mad annoying. It's mad annoying and it gets really fucking discouraging because I know my worth. That's one thing I know. I know my worth and I know that Jackie's Academy is one of a fucking kind. Ain't nobody got anything out there like what I have. Right? And the part that really gets me is I guarantee half y'all don't even know everything that Jackie Academy offers. Like, do you know that I have a whole section on finance fundamentals? Do you know that I'm trained? Like when I say finance fundamentals, like I'm talking about not just about credit scores. Like I'm telling you about trusts. I'm telling you about how to financially plan right when you right when you get out of college. Like all of this shit. You know what I mean? I was in corporate America for 17 plus years. Wow, I am having a fun time talking tonight, y'all. Like what? All right, let me try that again. So I've been in corporate America for 17 plus years, before I left. And like I said before, the knowledge set that I have gained is so vast, right? And like I said, I'm bringing so many different elements to Jackie's Academy. And again, it's black scented, meaning you're getting leadership skills from me, a black woman, right? You're not listening to some fucking Karen up there telling you what it's like to be a leader. Like ain't nobody need to hear white people talk about leadership. You understand? So like I said, for that reason, I'm suppressed and Jackie's Academy is doing good, but it could be doing better. You know what I mean? It could be doing better. And that's where y'all come in. So I need y'all to subscribe to the YouTube for Jackie Yaps A Lot, right? Because all of this is connected. Everything is connected, right? Subscribe to my Substack. If you can purchase a paid, my paid Substack, which is $8 a month, but it comes with anti-racism toolkits. It comes with, my personal journey story, which, people find extremely fascinating and insightful. There's so much good stuff on there, you know. So follow me on Threads, tell your family and friends about me, and tip, right? So all the free shit that I bring you, all the free resources, everything that I do, from activism, like I said, to Black history, is made possible with the tips that y'all send me, plus with my paid Substack, right? That's how I keep Jackie's Academy running, right? And we've been up for a year in March, and that's so fucking exciting. And like I said, we're doing good, but, and when I say we, I'm saying we because we're a community. You know what I mean? Like, part of building community is you feel the success of the community members. So if Jackie's Academy is successful, all of my brothers and sisters should feel successful. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm here to give back to y'all, not just monetarily, because Jackie's helping hands, I do that, but also with the knowledge base, right? With preserving our history, and also with uplifting you and your voices. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, on my YouTube too, I'm now posting shorts. I have one that was fucking deleted, and I'm really pissed off. I appealed it. They deleted it because I don't even know. I think it's because I was talking about how white people were harassing Ruby Bridges, and they try to say that was child exploitation. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can't. So I appealed it. The video. I know, Marcus. I know you laughing right now. The video is up on YouTube on fucking Instagram, so you can see it. But I appealed that shit right quick. But I got shorts up there now, so I'm adding to the channel. So, yeah, that's the kind of introduction there. I want to let you know that I have fresh content on my website. It's April, right? We transitioned to a new month. So what does that mean? New website content. So, new children's book recommendation. I want to pull it out. It is I Am Enough by Grace Byers. This book is absolutely fucking phenomenal. It teaches self-love, and that is so important, especially to Black children. It's not optional in this world to teach our children at a very young age about self-love. And when it comes, to Black children, it's daily work. Right? It's protection. It's planting something in them that no one gets to uproot. You understand? And this book is it's written like a lyrical self-love journey almost. And I read it with my kids, and they love it, and I think your kids will too. So you should check it out. It's on my website. Like I said, it gives you a full recommendation. Then you want to hit up finance fundamentals. Like I said, I'm talking about trusts this month. Leadership. Got some new content up on my leadership. Of course, I didn't fucking write my notes down, so I'm sitting here like, what the shit did I do? But there's new shit there. I promise you. The same thing with my project management zone. There's new material there as well. Cool, right? Jack can tell you there's new material, but I can't tell you what because I fucking forgot to write it down. All right. And then if you go to my main page and you scroll down, I want you to look at the new faces under highlighting Black excellence, y'all. I got 3 new Black entrepreneurs up there. I want you to read about them, and I want you to go hit up what they offer. Okay? All right. And last but not least, before this, big show opening that I do before we get right into Top Tier Mindz, is April 18th, y'all, is going to be the last show of season 2. All right? And season 2 has been fucking dope, right? Don't you think? Like, everything has been crisper. Bringing Marcus on has been fucking tremendous. We have my boy Byron on. I got a 4K camera, so I just feel like I look better. Like, everything is you know what I'm saying? Everything's just better. And that's what season 3 is going to be. Season 3 is going to be coming back on May 9th, and it's going to be even more top tier. Okay? I think that you might be able to meet somebody, actually see his face in season 3. I don't know. It might be coming. But yeah, so we'll be back on May 9th, me and Marcus, with a whole new season of Jackie Yaps A Lot. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, Marcus, you want to say hi to everybody before we kick off Top Tier Mindz?
Oh, most definitely. Hello, Jackie's Army. Hello, Jackie. As far as with the Black excellence, that you have 3 new people up on that up to let the world know about. I do have one person. If I could have a second to highlight them real quick, Jackie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. This man is he's a self-taught dessert connoisseur creator. He's on Facebook. He actually teaches people how to do some of his recipes. Mostly he does wonders with like cinnamon toast crunch. He makes like a lot of crispy desserts, like munchies, whatever you want to call it. He's got s'mores. He does cake pops, which are fabulous and all that. His name is Boulevard, and the place is called Boulevard Snack Shack, and they're going to be, um, if you're in America or overseas, he does ship stuff. I'm going to highlight him at my sports card shows June 20th and on August 8th. And this guy is I'm just telling you, and I'm going to say this because I've tried his stuff. It's literally the world's best sweets kitchen. So hashtag world's best sweets kitchen. You're going to get Boulevard Snack Shack. You got to give it a try. The brother is, he's younger than me. I want to say maybe late 30s or late 30s and whatnot. Trying to start his little, his small business. Definitely got to give him some love. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. I saw him today, and he's leveling up.
I
He's
love
leveling
it.
up
I
because
love it.
exactly, he's leveling up. So
I love that you
want
brought
to
him
go top Tier
here.
Mindz?
Yeah, well, actually, before we do top 10 minds, I gotta go back because you know me, I don't like loose ends. I needed to tell everybody what the fuck was in that leadership zone because that shit was pissing me off, Marcus. I was like, I look mad goofy up here trying to plug shit that I don't got written down. All right, so y'all, the leadership zone, we're talking about dialogue over dismissal. Okay, so it's a leader's playbook for navigating ideas. All right, so essentially, how do you tell someone their idea sucks without saying your idea sucks? You understand? Like, fucking key in leadership because you don't want to discourage people. You want to make sure that you're always motivating them, right? You want to make sure you don't shut them down. How the fuck do you do that? I talk about it. I got a whole fucking guide for you. And then if you scroll down, you get to the project management zone. And right there, that's where I talk about gear up. Project management, do not sleep on timelines. All right? Project timelines, y'all, don't sleep on them. All right? So, there's shit there. You want to go read about timelines. You want to go read about dialogue versus dismissal. Then you want to tip me and say, thank you, Miss Jackie. All right, Marcus, we're going into top tier fucking minds. I'm fading in. And top tier minds first, we're going to be talking about America continues to fucking burn, Marcus. America continues to burn. So did you hear about Trump? How he said that the U.S. can't afford to pay for daycare because we have wars to fight?
Oh yeah, it's typical Republican administration leadership. Under Bush, under Reagan, we could.
But he's the president of peace. Teeny Weenie's the president of peace.
President of peace, peace for me, peace for him, peace for you, peace for me, peace for him, peace for her, peace whatever. No peace for nobody else though. Peace is for my people. Peace is for my people. And it all started with Reagan. Then you got both Bushes, and then you have Trump. It's all. We always go to the Middle East. We always steal from the Middle East. We always make war with the Middle East, and we never have money for domestic programs. So, and people don't understand this. If you go every 4 years without funding domestic programs, that generation of 4 years is put back. It's pushed back. It's like going to school and then all of a sudden you're being told, hey, you can't advance beyond the 5th grade. We got to push you back. Even though you've done what you need to do to advance a grade, you got to stay stagnant for 4 years. And that's what we've been.
Yep.
So I don't know why people keep on bitching and moaning about, well, the Republicans did. I said, no, we have to spend more on domestic programs because the Republicans held back domestic advancement for every 4 years.
Yep.
That's why we're so behind domestically. I mean, leave no child behind. Our children are way down at the other end of the fucking GED area right now. We're not advancing.
And I'm piggybacking off you. I don't know how familiar you are with my girl Keandria, but she is this top tier black activist up on Threads. And I'll never forget when she said that she said she made a whole fucking video about how she blamed George W. Bush's No Child Left Behind for the reason why people we have to deal with so many fucking dumb adults. And like the bitch went wrong. I love her. She wasn't wrong. Like people are straight up like the people that we deal with are fucking dumb, and it's because of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like I said, when you're rural, they don't say rural America is a think tank for brilliance. Rural America is dirt farmers, and that's what they dirt farmers and menial labor. And when you give dirt farmers and menial labor, you don't give them an opportunity to better themselves or to at least keep their the standard of not just living, but the standard of education, whatever. If you just ignore it for 4 years, it's going to the effects are going to be damaging. And I don't want people to come at me. I'm from rural America. I'm from that. Mm-hmm. I can honestly say, going back to that rural America, that the property that I was born in, that property is decreased in value over 40 years. Mm-hmm. That land has gotten less worth anything. It's worthless compared to what it was back in the 80s for the same location I was born in. Because there's no development happening in that part of the country, in that part of the state.
Yeah, and because the white people in this country would rather focus on racism. That would rather protect whiteness. Like that's the reason why, like you're saying, like that's the reason why we're so fucking behind. Racism, like when I thread out there, racism is why America does not have nice things. Like I'm not fucking joking.
Exactly. We don't even have average things because of racism. We don't even have average shit. We don't have clean water in every city because of racism. We don't have quality education in every city because of racism. We literally have a population that is, I'm gonna say straight up, okay, fourth grade reading level is pretty much. I mean, we have to consider fourth grade as average reading level when there are countries in the world who consider if you haven't gone to college that you're still stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it also think about it too. What's the other thing that other countries do different? It's around critical thinking and cultural awareness. When you have cultural awareness automatically brought in to your foundation, that is going to develop your critical thinking skills, and that is what white Americans lack. Because they seclude themselves, because they self-segregate, because they are fucking terrified of every other goddamn culture, they also got no critical thinking. And that critical thinking, that's what's fucking killing us. I mean, that's the reason why it's so easy to feed them so many motherfucking lies. Because the motherfuckers have no critical thinking. They cannot think at all, like outside of what is being served to them on that platter. You feel me?
Yeah, when you said self-segregation, that hit right there because segregation for the longest time has been mixing. Segregation and integration are not synonymous with each other. It's not that. Integration, they always say that it involves people. It doesn't involve people, it involves resources. When you bring people into an area they've been excluded for resources, you're trying to integrate them into those resources. You're trying to integrate people into a capitalist system or a free market system. Black people were disproportionately poor and disproportionately illiterate because they weren't integrated into the education. They weren't integrated into free market capitalism. They weren't integrated into the political realm or the socioeconomic fabric of this country. But when that happened, white people self-segregated themselves by literally running to the suburbs. When their neighborhood started, when working class white people started seeing black people in their neighborhood, when they couldn't run them out, they ran themselves out.
Exactly.
But they took the resources with them.
Exactly.
And again, that's racism. The resources could help everyone, but their racism and their fear and their jealousy and their envy and their outright mediocrity allows them to be comfortable with nothing instead of sharing.
And remember, and let's talk about that fear which was strategically and deliberately built into them by white supremacy, because let's be crystal fucking clear. Black people have never enslaved or harmed white people. You understand? Like, we're not the violent ones. We're not the ones that colonize
Exactly.
them. There's nothing for them to fear. I mean, and if they want to look and say, oh my God, there's been a white person that's been killed by a black person. Yeah, bitch, there's been a lot more motherfucking white people killed by white people. Bitch, I was watching a show yesterday about some white bitch who was a cyclist, and then she got fucking killed by some other white bitch because she was the girlfriend of some white dude that the white bitch liked.
Exactly.
And then she went in there and she fucking pumped her real quick. She
Yeah.
said, bye, boom, boom. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, white people just be going around killing each other, eating each other, all this crazy ass shit. And then they want to say they're afraid of us. Why? Why? Marcus, let's keep going to this next point, though. The DHS now remains shut down. All right, so the DHS is still shut down. TSA is fucked. People are working without getting paid, all because Trump is trying to thrust the SAVE Act, aka voter suppression, right, into law.
Yep.
Into law. Now, what I want to say about this, I want to know what you think about this. What pisses me off and what has always confused me about this country is that we know that the SAVE Act is voter suppression, right? We know that this should not happen, that it is against Constitution. It's bad, right? We know it's a bad, but why? Why is it even up? You see what I'm saying? Like, why is it even up to be voted on? Like, why are these bills even able to be drafted? Why are they even, as soon as, I would argue that as soon as the president, right, and anyone within his cabinet sits down and writes something like this, that's when they show that they are no longer representing all of the country, of which that's what the president's supposed to be doing, is representing everybody in the country. They no longer can do that. They are trying to deliberately corrupt the system. Therefore, you go. That's it. You're done.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and the fact is, if people don't know what the SAVE Act is, here's a little of. I'm gonna be super brief with my explanation in layman's terms. The SAVE Act is the idea of the Heritage Foundation, and so that right there is enough. We're not even. It's not even the idea of the public. The Heritage Foundation are the architects of the SAVE Act. What they want to do is they want to strip half the population, which is women, preferably women who are married. They want to strip them of their voting capacity entirely. They want to make it to where if that's and the whole thing is simple. Marriage. So it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that marriage in America is a power move. And the reason why I say this is I'm going to keep this very short but very brief. And I want anyone who's engaged going on. I'm telling all the fiancés right now, all the women fiancés right now, understand this: marriage in America is a power move. They make you forego your last name and take your husband's last name, which basically means you're erasing your identity. You're erasing your bloodline. And only when you get divorced, and no, that by the way, they're making that almost impossible to do too. There's not gonna be any no-fault divorce if this gets passed. Watch what happens.
Yep.
But they strip your identity from you. You take on your husband's last name. Then you have to sue. You have to win in court to win a divorce. And in many cases, you have to walk away with nothing just to get your name and your identity back. You ever thought about that? I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what marriage is. I mean, marriage, the idea, the concept of marriage should be about love, but the whole process of it, of taking on your husband's last name, is a gender power move. And what the Republicans are trying to do, and the Heritage Foundation, and the white supremacists, and the Christian nationalists, and the evangelicals are trying to do, they are literally saying, if your name, your married name, and your maiden name don't match, you cannot vote.
And that's the thing that pisses me off, though, is, and again, we know that the SAVE Act is corrupt. We know that it should not pass. This is 2026, right? The fact that it's allowed to even be brought to the floor should show people, if they need any more fucking proof, how the system is fucking broken. You see what I mean? Like, there's so many people that are out there. And the reason why I'm saying this, Marcus, there's so many people, I watch them every day talk about voting and, oh, we need to vote and we need to do this and we need to do that. And it's like you were literally trying to put a band aid on a gaping fucking wound. Like a gaping wound that needs 75 fucking staples. You're sitting there trying to put a band-aid over it. Like, you think that voting in a corrupt system that is designed by the corrupt people, right, that you are doing something that's going to change something. It's like, no. Like, the fact that this government is allowed to introduce a bill that is this detrimental shows you that this fucking government is fucked. And now again, we already know it is by what everything that Trump is doing, but that's why, and I'll say it again, the entire fucking government needs to be brought down. You need to scrap it and you need to rebuild it. And we can talk more about what we think are nice, what that would look like on a future episode. But last point before we go to our main point of the night tonight, our main topic, is, did you hear that Trump wants to pull America out of NATO?
Yeah, I heard about that.
But you know that
Yeah,
we need, so it's a good old Mark Rubio kind of threw a wrench in there, right? Because we know, because of him, right, that we need, or he needs, a 2/3 Senate vote in order, right, to pull America out of NATO. So the question is, and this is what me and my husband always talk about, is my husband will tell me, like, this is what's going on, right? We'll talk about the news together, and he always says now, so, technically it would be, again, he has to do this 2/3 Senate vote, but we all know, like, will he do it anyways? Will anyone stop him? Because this man just breaks the law every fucking day and no one seems to give a shit. So he's, like I said, he's walked and crumbled every check and balance that they try to say that we have in this country. So do you think he'll be able to pull us out of NATO? Do you think he'll do it?
I don't think anything in regards to, for one, Trump can't think. Let's just understand that Trump is being told what to do. He's being told what to sign, being told whatever. The guy literally speaks in meetings. He literally farts when he's speaking. I mean, he's got the bodily functional control of a, he's got the body function control of me on taco night after eating Thai food back to back and then going to bed with a gallon of milk in my system. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gonna be a disaster, and that's what he is. So let's just get that out of the way that, he's being directed to all this. And the reason why the whole thing about NATO is an issue is because Israel wants America out of NATO. Because Israel wants two things. And because we have to talk about that. We're going to talk about everything to do with geopolitical shit. They want a greater Israel, but they also want an American colony too. And they've got the American colony because Russia controls our Republican Party. Israel controls our Democratic Party.
All right.
Let's just say what it is.
Say it. Just say it. I mean, unapologetic truth, right? We're just gonna fucking say the shit.
Yeah. So we're a satellite nation to Israel, and they showed us that because we're fighting their battles willingly. We're willingly. A U.S. fighter jet got shot down last night over Iran. Even though Trump went on TV last week and said during the first 2 days of the conflict, we completely obliterated Iran's ability, his air defenses, to ability to shoot down any warplanes. Okay, so what happened? Did this thing just fall out of the sky or something? What? No, it's just it's all a bunch of lies. And eventually the thing is this: the lies are going to catch up because the military families that have these dead soldiers are going to say something. We both know that more than 13 Americans died in this.
Oh my gosh, we know. Fucking lying.
So the government is obviously paying these families off like they did in 9/11.
Yep.
But the thing of 9/11, we knew how many people died in 9/11.
Yep.
But all they're doing is this. It's like, okay, so how much money are you telling these families to keep quiet about their loved ones being killed in combat? And if you can't pay them, what else are you going to do? Are you good? Because the thing is, people
Mm-hmm.
need to understand too. ICE is out there, and ICE is literally his private army. I guarantee you, the families who would not be bought are having their friends and their families harassed by law enforcement. If they were to go to the press and say something, I
Mm.
guarantee you, we're going to see more Americans being detained and arrested and put in there for no charges, charges pending.
Yeah, nah.
And yeah, because we're going to copy the Israeli playbook. That's all we're doing. We're copying the Israeli playbook on repression in the population. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And there you go. That's a great way to close out our conversation on America Continues to Burn, y'all. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into our main segment today. Marcus says, "Good for fuck's sake, y'all! I gotta learn to talk." Marcus thought, right, and I thought it was an awesome idea. He said, "You know what? What if we talk about how, yeah, okay, so the next part of this language is mine, but essentially how not to to help white people understand how not to raise little racist douchebags." And I love it because here's the thing. Again, I'm gonna let you know a little bit more about me. In my last job, right, I not only was, a manager, I also was part of the ERG, Employee Resource Group, called the Black Alliance. I did a lot of activism work at my last job as well. So there would be a lot of white employees that would tap into me offline and ask me, for anti-racism tips, and there were a few that were moms, and they would say to me, my son is a white, blonde hair, blue eyed little boy, and I don't want him to grow up like an asshole. Like, what can you help me? And we could unpack that, like the whole ask at some other time. But when Marcus said that, it made me rethink some of the conversations that I had with some of these individuals. So I thought it would be a great segment to bring here. We're gonna do this in two parts. So part one's gonna be tonight, and then part two we'll wrap up with next week. So I'm gonna go through part one now, and then when we're done with part one, I will let you all know what you can expect for next week. So Marcus, you ready to get through this?
Most definitely.
Let's do
Most
this.
definitely.
All right. So all right, so we're going to get into something right now. White parents love to tiptoe around the role that y'all play in teaching anti blackness to your kids. And yes, I just said teaching. Teaching. Because anti blackness doesn't just appear out of thin air, y'all. It's passed down like a damn family recipe. You understand? All right? It's inherited. It's inherited through the silence they see after a racist joke was just made. Okay? It is inherited through the racist jokes that Grandpa Bob makes about the niggers. Okay? It's the fear. It's when you clutch your pocketbook, right? When the black man walks by, right? It's the stories you tell when you think your kids aren't listening, when you think that they're not paying attention. Because I promise you, I fucking promise you, they are. Okay? If you're a white parent in this country, you are either interrupting racism or you are passing it down. Okay? There is no neutral. There is no neutral. Your kids are learning from every reaction. Okay? Every reaction. What do I mean by that? Okay, you're watching a TV show and okay, you know what? I'll use a fucking real life example. I was watching Ren and Stimpy with my kids. Yes, I love fucking Ren and Stimpy. We have it on DVD. Okay, we put in Ren and Stimpy. All right, an episode came on that I forgot about, and it was an episode where there's these two white sheriffs and they're running around looking for someone to hang. So you know what I did? I paused it. I looked at my kids and I said, "What's the problem with this episode?" I said, "I want you to tell me what's the problem with what you just saw." And they looked at me for a minute, And they said it has to do with the hanging. And I said, yes. I said, because although they're not talking and they're not aiming this at a race in this show, they're talking about a topic that is extremely sensitive and triggering to our race. So this episode may not be an episode that we really want to watch understanding that, right? Now, it's a cartoon and you can say what you will, but that's the conversations that I have with my kids. And I'm black! And those are the conversations I'm having with my kids, right? I'm making sure that they see it, they understand that they call it out. And that's what I'm talking about with for you all, right? When you see something on TV and you just turn your blind eye, no, I don't have to say blind eye, when you just ignore it, right? They pick up on that. Okay, every stereotype that you feed into, every stereotype when, oh, the black person's late again, or, oh, look at the black person and calling the black person ghetto. By the way, people never can be ghetto. By the way, only a place can be ghetto. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, all of those stereotypes, okay, they pick up on that. Okay, they also pick up on when they're called, when they are called out, and it's, I didn't mean it like that. Every time you avoid talking about race because it makes you uncomfortable, the kids pick up on that. All right? So Marcus and I are going to talk about what it actually looks like to raise white children who aren't carrying anti-blackness into the next generation. Marcus, before I get into how anti-blackness starts at home, is there anything that you wanted to say to folks before we dive into the meat of the conversation?
Okay, yeah, one little thing. one thing. It's a little thing that they do, but it's a big thing when it's done to us. And it's obviously a passed down bigotry, it's a passed down bias. When it comes to personal boundaries too. White parents, stop teaching your kids that it's okay to touch black people's hair.
Yes, can I add to it? Can we also say, white parents, teach your kids about spatial awareness? There is something that y'all lack. I don't know what it is. You be up in a store, y'all stand mad close to us. You be breathing up on us, right? What is that? What is that? There's no excuse me. There's no nothing. Your kids see that and then they grow up and they think that they can do that too. Don't know. Please teach your kids spatial awareness. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, just think about this. They are afraid of us, but they want to stand close to us. They want to be like us on cheap suits and shit.
Because you know what it is? It's that you're invisible. That's what it is. It's not that they want to be near us. Brother, you confused. It's that they're saying we don't see you. You are invisible. You do not matter. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. And we have, this is our space. So you might be here, but you need to move now because this is our space. That's what they're doing. They're enforcing their entitlement and thrusting it into our faces, and then they're teaching their kids that. And so I'm so fucking happy that you brought up about the touching the hair, because it goes into that spatial awareness. Y'all need to fucking develop it, and that's what you need to be passing on down to your motherfucking kids. Shit.
Shit. Oh yeah. No, you don't. No, you gotta the hands off the hair.
Hands off the hair. Oh my God, boy! I don't. Did I tell you that story though? I don't even know if I told you that story. So it was. I think it was. Was it last year? No, it had to be 2 years ago. It was two years ago. Right? Now, it might have even been 3 now. Sorry, I'm trying to think because I stopped as soon as we... Okay, so it was before the boycott at Target happened. Before we decided we weren't going to Target anymore because they suck shit. I was at Target with my older daughter, Evelyn. My husband, Bill, my little one, Charlotte. We were all up at that shopping at Target. So my older daughter, Evelyn, her hair is insane. She has the most beautiful, curly hair. But she usually has it either in braids, or she has it, she had it in braids or in twists or something like that. So long story short, she had her hair braided. And this old white woman literally just came up behind her, put her hands like in her hair, started touching her hair, saying it was pretty. And then she proceeded to walk, but it happened so fast. But by the time I pivoted to see her, like she was already like moving away, and Evelyn was just in shock, and she started crying because she felt like it was such an invasion of privacy, and it fucking was. And I was sitting there like, holy shit, did this woman just really do that? And she was like 80. You know what I mean? She was already like walking it halfway up the fucking aisle, and I knew if my black ass said something to her, I was gonna get in trouble. So I was sitting there like, holy shit. But yeah, like they do that. It's not something that we just say to fucking just like say it. Like they will just come up and put their hands, and it's wild when they do it to kids. It's like, and again, like I said to my daughter, if she's lucky I didn't catch her as she was in the middle, because I would have cussed her out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I still wish I ran after her sometimes, but at the same time I knew I would. Anyways, but yeah, so agreed. Don't touch the fucking hair.
Leave black people alone. Hashtag. Leave
Yeah.
black people alone.
Always. All right, so we're going to talk about anti-blackness and how it starts at home, y'all. All right, so y'all, kids do not come into the world fearing black people. Okay? They learn it from you. They learn it from the way you tense up when the black man walks by, the way you cross the street when the group of black kids walk by. They learn it from the way you talk about the good neighborhoods and the bad neighborhoods. They learn it from the news you watch, okay? When you have Fox News in the background, they hear that shit. The jokes you don't correct. I will keep coming back to the jokes. Always. Always. The silence you sit in when your family says something racist at dinner. Okay, anti-blackness isn't just someone saying nigga, y'all. Okay? It's the lower expectations. You don't expect much from this person because they're black. You understand? It's the coded warnings, the grabbing the purse, the crossing the street, right? The not going into the restaurant, right? It's the be careful over there when you send your kid over to the predominantly black neighborhood. It's the way you praise black people only when they're entertaining you. And that's something that I don't think a lot of y'all pick up on. If the only time you're talking good about a black person is because you're talking about Beyonce, that's not it. All right, your child is watching you, y'all. They're studying you. They're absorbing every message you think you're fucking hiding. You understand? Like when you see something racist on TV, call it out. Name it. When you're watching TV and there's an all-white cast, call out the lack of diversity. Right? If your older teenage daughter decided, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to start watching Friends, Mom. Sit down and have a motherfucking conversation how black people exist in New York. How come they don't in this fucking show? You understand?
I understand that. I felt that.
When they talk about Elvis, who do we tell them about, Marcus?
We're talking about rip-off artists is what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We ain't talking about
Big Mama Thornton.
Exactly. We ain't talking about her. We damn sure ain't talking about Little Richard. We damn sure ain't talking about the Jillionaires, the first rap bebop group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ain't talking about them. You know, but it's just.
So as I'm saying, when they talk about Elvis, when there's someone sitting there, Trump went to go to Graceland to look at Elvis. Tell them what a prick Elvis was. Tell them that he was a chump who stole his sound from black people. Then go show them Big Mama Thornton's shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's where you come in. That's your role. Know your whiteness. Know what's wrong with it and counter it. And again, you don't need to do that by absorbing blackness, meaning you do not need to sit there and try to speak AAVE or adopt our culture. No, you send them to us. You send them to our books. You send them to our websites, to our social media. You give them the tools that they need to immerse themselves into our culture so they can learn it. They can see the truth with their own eyes. You navigate them. Sorry, I got
No
really into
doubt.
that. My
No
passion
doubt. I
always comes
mean,
out when I talk about this shit, you know? Um,
well, yeah. I mean, because you're a parent. You're a parent who's also an activist who was also a leader of people in your corporate position for about 30 years. You you've led people. You've mentored people. All your life you've done that. And parents are are responsible for raising their children to be productive members of society. If you're going to teach hate and bigotry, anti-black racism to your kids, you're raising criminals.
yeah, and I would say it's child abuse. I mean, it's no different than when you
Yeah.
indoctrinate them into religion. You're indoctrinating them into racism, into white supremacy, into hate. I mean, it's violence, and you're like I said, you're indoctrinating. It's harmful. It's harmful.
I'm gonna say some. I'm gonna say something controversial, Jackie. I'm gonna say something controversial on
Say
your
it.
channel.
Say it.
And okay, we'll do. I'd rather have a parent. I'd rather have a parent pass drug abuse down to a kid than teach a kid's hate, anti-black racism. Because
Wow.
you know why?
Tell me.
Because a drug addict is going to hurt themselves and it's going to steal from their family. A violent racist is going to project his violence onto other people.
All right. I mean, I feel you. I see what you're saying. I would love to know, the audience watching, like, are you vibing with Marcus? Like, do you see what he's saying? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, when we post this up on YouTube, y'all, like, these are the conversations we want to be seeing up in the comment section. Like, let us know. Like, I wouldn't, I need to process it for a minute, but I feel you, Marcus. Keep going.
Can I repeat this again and
Yeah.
put it slowly for the people who are still clutching their pearls and not listening right now?
Yeah.
Okay, folks, white parents, I want you to unclutch your pearls for a second. I know your mouths are gaping open. I want you to close them. And I want you to think about what I'm saying to you. I would rather have you pass drugs down to your kids than to teach your kids anti-black racism. Because when you're a drug addict, or when you're a drug addict, you hurt yourself, right? You're a drug addict, you hurt yourself, or you steal from your family, or you become their burden. I'm not even talking about an alcoholic because we all know that an alcoholic will get behind the wheel of a car and then kill a family of 4 people and then get a probation charge. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a drug addict. I'm talking about a drug addict who becomes one because their parents had meth in their system and decides, oh, I'm going to give you some meth when you're 7 years old. Okay. I'd rather have you do that to your kids and to turn them into drug addicts than to have you teach anti-black hate to your kids. Because what they're going to do is they're going to go through life and they're going to go through life with that disdain and that hatred and that seething that seething loathsomeness of black life. And they're going to get into positions where they're going to either be doctors, police officers, firefighters, or EMTs or whatever, and they're going to adversely affect black people because of their biasness.
It's certainly an intriguing. That was intriguing, and I think I need to process it too. But I see what you're saying. I really do, and so I'm really curious to see if people will actually drop comments, and we'll answer them. Like I'll bring them into the next show as well. So yeah, let's sit on that one, Marcus. I appreciate you bringing that
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Think about it, Jackie. Have you ever met a drug addict who actually went off and everything he did, he hurt other people, or do we
So
see Dr. Phil?
I think sorry for interrupting, but I think for me the reason why like I just kind of like stopped is like it's triggering for me in that that's kind of point blank period. That's how I grew up. Like I had a parent who was addicted to drugs, and so I saw the harm firsthand. I experienced the harm of having a parent that was addicted to drugs. So it's kind of re-triggering the trauma and then trying to wrap my head around the harm of anti-blackness because I also grew up in a household that was very anti-black, and the stuff that was taught to me there. And I will say that just speaking it out loud, the anti blackness that was taught to me, the self hatred that I assumed or consumed because of it was far more detrimental than what happened in a way with my biological mother being a drug addict for my childhood. That part of me is
But
actually
can I ask you
that
a
part of me
question?
is actually
Can I
hold
ask
on,
you,
let me just finish. Like that part of me is actually
mm,
healed, whereas the me and my mom have reconciled. Like that part of me has healed. She's sober, and all of that. But the anti racism or the anti blackness that I grew up with, that's still not healed. So you see what I mean? So that connection that you're making, it's something where it's feeling very real to me, but just different to kind of process in real time. Does that make sense?
well, yeah, I was, well, the reason why I was going to ask you a question is, but I'm gonna get the question. I'm gonna make a point. Um, because I grew up, addiction as well too. We're both basically two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
But an addict can recover, but an addict will only recover when they see themselves as there's no rock bottom. When they hit rock bottom, then they have to choose to either recover or die.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother chose to recover, and that's why she was able to recover and then rebuild. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
A ra- a racist who's violent and who commits harm, physical harm, to even murder, there is nothing that you can do to rectify that death. You can't bring back the victim.
Yeah. No, that's
The
why I said
Ku
it's a
Klux
super powerful. Sorry for
yeah,
interrupting. It's a super powerful like. I don't want to say if it's an analogy or it's just it was super powerful like your statement. Um, yeah, go ahead.
the the a racist can't bring we Emmett Till didn't is not 80 years old. Emmett Till died at 15 years old, 14 years old. Emmett Till died at 14.
Right.
Ahmaud Arbery died at 23. Trayvon Martin died at 16 years old.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Because racists were 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 taught that as kids to hate black people for existing, and they killed them
Ex-
for existing.
exactly. Exactly.
So
So, all right,
I
sorry. So
would
we
rather
gotta.
go ahead.
No, we just kind of sidetracked and we're getting close on time, and I still got other sections to go through. So
Yeah,
that was a dope. I like it though.
exactly.
I love those little side conversations that we have are like the reason why this segment is so dope. So, all right, let's keep it going
Well,
though.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no,
Definitely.
no,
I
no.
mean,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, it's just like I said. It's just the fact is this is like the only way to stop parents from teaching kids anti-black hate and racism because we can't group it together. It's anti-black hate and then racism. It's no bo. It's not biopic. Whatever. It's anti-black hate and racism. You tell them the only way to force parents to see that is to say, "Do you want to make your child into a criminal? Do you want to raise a criminal, or do you want to raise a human being?" That means you do not. That means you call out racism. That means you don't condone racism. That means when you see anything that looks racist, you have those discussions about it.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna kind of go into. So we're gonna go into, okay, so we talked about naming racism when you see it, calling it out on the spot. Now we're gonna talk about stop with the fucking stereotypes. All right, stereotypes are fucking harmful. All right, and the thing is stereotypes are subtle, and that's what y'all need to pick up on. All right, it's you all. I find that white people, Marcus, look for the most obvious. Like they want to see a black person dressed up as a monkey. Oh my God, that's a stereotype right there. I see it. I can be angry about it. They don't look at the stereotype of the magazine that depicts. I remember it was LeBron James, all angry and screaming and fired up, and they don't realize that that perpetuates that angry, violent black man stereotype. And it's all of these subtle stereotypes that you turn your blind. Oh, I said it again. So the reason why I don't say blind eye is because I try to be inclusive, and I did that. It's something I brought with me from my leadership days, right? Because I wanted to make sure that when I'm talking, I am being sensitive. And I don't like to say a blind eye because it's insensitive to people who might be seeing impaired. So that's why I don't say it. So that's why I keep stopping myself so people don't understand. But people ignore it, right? So you ignore it. You ignore those little obvious stereotypes, right? For instance,
Yes.
like when we're watching a movie, we will say to our kids, like we'll talk out loud, like, oh, they have a black main character and he's not into sports. He's an academic. That is awesome, right? And we point out that they broke the stereotype, right? So my kids will look for shows where the stereotype is being broken. That's what you should be doing too, because stereotypes are the starter pack for racism. Okay, it's white, and the thing is white parents hand them out like fucking snacks. Okay, it's in everything you do. When you see the little kid playing, oh, he's good at basketball, I bet. You know what I mean? It's like those little fucking stereotypes. And the thing is too is, like I was saying, even the so-called positive stereotypes, black athletes, black musicians, that flattens black humanity, y'all. Okay? When you focus on just black athletes and black musicians, you're teaching your child that black people exist to perform, not to live full, complex lives. And I will live and die by that. Right? I will live and die by that. If you go back into slave times, it was always, we were the entertainment, right? We worked, we served, and we entertained. And that's being carried forward. So call that out. Like, you can't always just simply praise a black person because they're good at sports or they're good at singing or they're an actress. It's not teaching the doctors. It's not teaching the scientists, right? If the only time your kid sees black people, right, shining is when they're running, singing, or dribbling, that's not representation, y'all. That's a cage. All right? That's a fucking cage. All right? So let's be real. If you let your uncle talk wild on Thanksgiving in front of your kids, you're teaching them that racism is just how the family talks. Okay? So you need to correct the family loud. No, Joe Bob, you can't say that about black people. That's a stereotype. That's harmful. Right? It's harmful. People always say, well, what's the big deal saying black people are late? Like, da 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 da. Because that's the reason why black people, I don't know if you know this, that's the reason why sometimes black people don't get hired for the jobs, because that stereotype that they're always going to be late means, okay, well, they're always going to be late to come to work too. Okay? So those little stereotypes matter. You need to stop with them, and you need to call folks out. We're gonna go over time again, and it is what it is. You need to call folks out when they partake in them. Before I go on to my next section, do you have anything for that?
Yeah, okay. I have three things. I'm going to keep super short on them because we're on a time constraint. So, as far as the uncle at the dinner table who wants to pop off some bullshit, off-color jokes, whatever you want to call it. I love the off-color jokes, anti-black jokes, let's just call it what it is, anti-black jokes. Racism isn't ageism. Racism isn't limited to your uncle or to your grandpa or your papa or your grandma or your mama or whatever like that. Because that's not limited to them. Because you're basically saying that people who are racist are old and have dementia. No, that's not. These people were your parents' who raised them. And your parents are raising you. That means if your parents talk like that, then they must have dementia too, right? No, you don't think of it like that. So don't think of racism as ageism. Anytime you hear anti-black shit, it's racism called out. Doesn't matter if it's someone who's 86 years old, doesn't matter if they're 36 years old, doesn't matter if they're 16 years old. It's wrong to do that. Kill that shit. All that. The other point I wanted to make had everything to do. We are not a league of extraordinary black individuals. We are not a Marvel comic book. Black people are doctors, black people are pilots, black people are teachers, black people are firefighters. Despite what Charlie Cook says about us not being qualified for those jobs, we are those jobs. Do you hear me?
I'm black and I'm proud.
We don't just sit and
Say
we don't
loud.
just sit and dance. We don't just dribble. We don't just pass the football around. We don't just do hip hop. We don't do the running man. We don't do the Harlem Shake. We are more than that.
That's right. Preach. Preach.
That's what we are. We're not League of Extraordinary Black Individuals. If you want to generalize us, then call us the planet of extraordinary Black individuals because we are a whole planet. Damn it!
There you go. Woo woo. All right.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't have
So,
it both
I'm
ways.
done with that.
That's good. It's okay. We're going to keep going. So, this is another thing. Stop teaching your kids. I don't see color. Stop that shit. White parents love to say, we don't see color in this house. We don't see color in this house. And I need y'all to hear me. That is not progressive. It's erasure. Cut the fucking shit. When you teach your children not to see race, you're teaching them not to see racism. You're teaching them to ignore the very thing shaping black people's lives in this country. Blackness is not a problem to ignore. It's a culture, it's a history, it's a people. Your child needs language for difference so they can understand injustice. Do you get it? Color blindness is just racism with a soft filter. So cut the shit. And then to go back, and then, right, we are going to say, I want to kind of piggyback back off of what Marcus was saying, right, to go into this section, which is show your children black humanity beyond entertainment. That's what Marcus was literally just talking about. Like, he covered this part perfectly. White kids are so often only exposed to black excellence in sports and music. And again, that's not an accident. That's a result of a society that is pushing that black people are only valued when they're entertaining. Okay? It's a strategy of white supremacy. It's to make people think that black people are only good for entertaining. Okay? Your child needs to see black scientists, teachers, innovators, activists, authors, neighbors, parents, and everyday joy. They need to see black people living lives fully that have nothing to do with trauma or performance. Okay? I built Jackie's Academy the way I did for a reason. There's a reason why there's cartoon Jackie, right? When you go to my exposing the hate section, yeah, there's shit there. And I would argue that your kid should still go there and read it and see it, right? But if you go under everything black and you go to celebrating our icons, that's all about black brilliance. I have the innovators. I have the scientists. You understand? They can see that it was a black man that created the mask that the firefighters wear when they go in to the burning building. I ain't going to say his name. You should know his name. And if you don't know his name, go to my website and read about it. You understand? But you can send your kids to my website. Okay? There's other amazing authors out there who write kids' books that will you can read to your kids. Hidden Figures. I mean, that's one of the books I featured on here before. All right, it's about Katherine Johnson. I mean, that's what you need to be doing. Show your kids the other side of blackness, okay? Show them that there's more than the stereotypes that they're seeing on TV, that they're seeing in everything that's white centered, right? Because again, they're walking through a white centered America. So you need to break that white centeredness. You need to actively pull in the other cultures. So here's the thing. I want you to do this test with your kids, all right? I want you to do this test with your kids. All y'all white people, get out your fucking notebooks, all right? I want you to ask your kids to name you 10 black athletes. And then I want you to ask them to name you 10 black authors. If they can name 10 black athletes and not any black authors, you got a fucking problem. And that's a problem you fucking created. Okay? I want you to do that test. And then if they fail that test and all they know are about black sports players, I want you to introduce 10 new black people to them. And I call them, like I said, our icons. And you can leverage my material to do so. Representation isn't something you stumble into, okay? It's something you curate, okay? It takes work. White people are lazy. I know y'all love to try to say we're lazy, but y'all are lazy motherfuckers. You don't want to do the work. You run to black people to do it for you. You want everybody to do everything right for you, serve it up to you on a silver platter. And then even when we give it to you on a silver platter, you want us to fucking cut it up in little fucking pieces and then spoon feed it to your fucking asses. No, okay? I will meet you halfway because it's for the greater good of the goddamn humanity. I will meet you halfway. You gotta come the other fucking half. You understand? And this is what you need to do. You need to curate. You need to be active. You need to be talking about race every day to your kid. Why? Because it matters. Because it's something that we live every day. You understand? I'm going to go into this last section because I am so fucking over time. So this is about the harm of generational racism. Generational racism is real, y'all. It's the quiet inheritance white families pass down without ever naming it. It's the stories your grandparents told, the warnings your parents gave, the stereotypes you absorbed before you even know what the word stereotype fucking meant. If you don't interrupt the racism you grew up with, you're handing it down to your kids like a fairly heirloom, and white people be handing that shit down. Okay? And here's the truth. Generational racism doesn't just harm black people. It limits your child's humanity. It shrinks their world, y'all. It teaches them fear instead of curiosity. Okay? It teaches them superiority instead of empathy. We see what it's like when we have a country led by people with no empathy. Okay? Your child deserves better than the racism your family never dealt with. I'm going to say it again. Your child deserves better than the racism your family never dealt with. You understand? White parents, your kids are watching you. They're learning from you. And they will carry what you teach them into every room they enter. And I know because my children went to school and go to school with kids that said, no, she can't be your mom because she's too dark and you're too light. Okay? My kids went to school with the kids who saw my older daughter and said, oh, you must be a nigger. Look at your hair. Okay? I watch the kids. You're teaching it to them right now. I hate talking about that shit. It hurts my fucking heart. You understand? You understand? Anti-blackness doesn't end because you didn't mean it, okay? It ends because you do the work, because you choose to unlearn, because you choose to teach your kids something different than what you were taught. If you want your child to be better, you have to be better. Remember, there is no right age for this. Start now. It's not too young. If we have to teach, and this is the conversation we're going to do in part 2, but if we need to teach our kids and have the conversations with them at a young age about making sure that they sit still when the cops come, that they keep their hands visible, right? That when their little white friends are playing ding dong ditch, that no, you can't play ding dong ditch because you'll get shot. You can't do what your white friends do. We have to have those conversations with our kids. We have to tell them to be careful when they walk home with a bag of fucking Skittles. We have to have those conversations. The least you could do is have your conversations.
If
It's
you
not.
teach your kids, racism, your kids are going to either hate you or they're going to hate themselves or both.
It's
That's
your
what makes sure
duty.
you leave your kids.
Exactly, and it's your
That's what,
duty. Your duty to
yeah,
break the curse.
it, yeah. It's like I said, it's your job to, as a human being, it's your job to not teach anti-black hate. As a parent, it's your duty not to teach anti-black hate.
Damn straight. And if you are in my community and you're a white person, you better fucking watch this on repeat. And you better fucking take every bit of advice I've given you. And you better be doing that quiz with your kids too. Because I wish I could follow up with your fucking asses. Because I would. But listen, this is a very important conversation. And that was part one. And I went over. We're going to have a part two of this conversation. And we're really going to dive into next week what it looks like growing up black as a kid versus growing up white as a kid. We're going to get into, what it's like on ours, through our lens, right? The shows that we watch and like I'll just say this one example. Like, for instance, my kids are sitting there watching YouTube and they're watching these group of kids and there's 2 white kids and there were 3 black kids and they were talking about all the pranks they were going to do. And my daughter looked at me, she turned, she said, Mom, she said, these black kids shouldn't be doing these pranks because they're the ones that are going to get in trouble. Why are these white kids asking them to do it? I did my job. My kids get it. Yes, they're black, but my kids are light skinned. Okay? And we'll talk about that as well. Okay? But I have to teach it. I still talk about it. Why? Because it's not enough for me to just be black. I have to erase the whiteness that is thrusted upon them every day. Does that make sense? I have to do that. And that's what we do. You understand? So we're going to come back and we're going to do a part 2 of this. And we're also going to have another conversation because it popped into my head when I was talking about my kids. I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about how my kids are lighter skinned. I want to talk about the conversations that I have with my kids around that and whatnot. But I hope you enjoyed that, because I think that was an awesome top tier segment. I know I'm well over. I still got to read a poem, so I better hurry my black ass up. But Marcus, I loved your insight. Is there anything that you want to say to kind of close up that segment before I close out tonight with a poem by Sam?
I'll close up real quick, nice and tight, perfectly. White parents, Jackie is giving you a gift. She's giving you knowledge and education. And you better be paying her handsomely for this, because she will help you raise your children to be outstanding human beings if you follow her teachings. Or you could be lazy, you could be child abusers, and you could teach your kids to look to black people to commit criminal activity and to goad them to that. Because that's what your racism will do. You're going to teach your kids to bother black people to help them break the law. You're going to teach your kids to hate themselves because they can only be around themselves because you're going to make them afraid of black people. You're going to make them fear being in black neighborhoods or being around black faces. You're going to stunt their growth.
Damn straight.
And God forbid, a criminal, an actual criminal gets a hold of these kids and uses your racism that you taught them, your anti-black racism, to do harm to those kids. And I think you know when I'm talking about do harm to those kids, Jackie. I don't think I need to go into detail on that.
Nope, I don't think you do either. It's what I said a long time
Well,
ago. Not, yep, I feel you. I feel you.
most definitely.
All right, y'all. Well, I am going to end tonight's show. Thank you all for staying with me too. I know I went over, but you know what? This shit was it. You know what? We get into the vibe. We got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Um, so thanks for sticking with me. I found my man Sam's book. He's still not with us to read his poetry, but I found his book. If you have not bought it yet, you should. There's a link to be able to purchase this on my website. If you go under Everything Black, Showcasing Black Excellence, goes down to Samuel M. Brown, and you'll have a link to buy his book. You should buy it. Support him, okay? I am going to read Sam's poem called American Hate, and I hope that I read it as my friend Sam would envision. If I put the truth in your face, would you face it? Would you still run away because you can't take it? Let's start with hate, that dreadful conversation. How the United States continues to be evasive. For 200 years, I hung from trees. After 200 more, I'm still not free. So many laws are passed to stigmatize me. Congress only laughs 'cause we're not part of the machine. You say I keep singing the same old song, but you've been deceiving me for so long. You want me believing that hate is all gone when all your policemen are so trigger prone? Why won't you denounce white supremacy? How is Trump running around seeking the presidency while you look down and ignore transparency? Either you think I'm a clown or the hate is too deep. The truth is there right in your face. The schools are scared to teach of the black race. The Congress sneers and just looks away. It's been 400 years and the fifth is on the way. American Hate by Samuel M. Brown. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you here next Saturday on Culture Flix at 3 p.m. EST for Jackie Yaps A Lot. Much love, y'all.